Hey everybody, I'm Chef Julie Andrews from UW Health, and I'm here with Joe at the Fitchburg Fire Department.
Welcome, welcome.
Thanks
so good
for
to have
having
you
me.
Great to have you back.
We're always having fun in the kitchen, aren't we?
I love the kitchen.
Me too.
Because there's always an end result that's edible.
Exactly.
Well, most of the time, but that's why we have you here.
Exactly.
All right.
So today we are making a healthier macaroni and cheese. So we have kind of a secret ingredient that's not so secret because I'm about to tell you what it is, but we're using butternut squash.
Oh, should we whisper?
Should we whisper?
Yeah.
We already told them, so it's too late. So we're gonna use, this is actually just a whole butternut squash, and this came right from the garden, which is awesome. I love being able to use fresh garden ingredients in fun recipes like mac and cheese.
So is that just a matter of baking it then, and then?
Yep, you just roast it in the oven until it's fork tender, and then peel it out of the skin, and then we're throwing it in the blender to make our sauce.
Wonderful.
I know. And butternut squash is super good for you. Its bright color tells us that it has a ton of vitamins and minerals.
And it sort of looks like cheese, so the kids will eat it.
Exactly, so it's kind of that same color.
And even more important, firefighters will eat
Yes,
it.
exactly. So we're adding some milk. So this is just a low-fat milk. And then we have chicken broth. So I know this sounds really weird, but just don't tell anyone what's in it, and I promise it tastes really good.
All right.
And then salt and pepper, and then just a little bit of Greek yogurt. So this gives us kind of that creamy texture without adding a lot of butter, which is...
Is it true that Greek yogurt has a lot of protein?
Yes, it does. Yep, so lots of protein is a good thing because it keeps you full. So we give this a whirl in the blender.
Did I get my microphone really close to it?
And it looks like macaroni and cheese sauce to me.
It does to me as well.
So we add this to our pan here, and we just have, in the pan we have 4 tablespoons of butter. Now you could use anywhere from 2 to 4, whoops, did you see that?
I did see that. It's almost like Old Faithful.
It is. So just a few tablespoons of butter. And the cool thing is that macaroni and cheese typically has 1 to 2 sticks of butter. So the butternut squash kind of takes the place of that because it has that creamy texture.
Sort of fills that up, huh?
It does. So now we can add our cheese. So we have to have cheese. We're in Wisconsin. It's mac and cheese. It's kind of important. So we have some Gouda, and I like to use Gouda or Gruyere, but that's a little more expensive. So sometimes I just go for the Gruyere. And then sharp cheddar. I always use sharp cheddar in my mac and cheese.
Is there a certain consistency with that cheese specifically?
You know, it's because it's sharp, it just has that really good flavor. And then the Gouda is super creamy, so it gives that nice texture to it. So it's a good combination of the two. And so what we're looking for here is just to get this a little bit melted. It doesn't have to be completely melted because we're gonna bake this. But we want it kind of even so that we don't have cheese in only certain spots of the mac and cheese.
Agreed. Otherwise it's just mac.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. So speaking of mac, while we let this melt, we do have some noodles here that are already cooked, and I'm going to give that to you to kind of get it out of the way here. So this is cavatappi. So they're nice little swirly noodles, and that they have a hole on the inside, so they're tubular, which means all that yummy sauce can get on the inside.
Now, are there different kinds of noodles that we could use?
Yeah, you can use any type of noodle. I just always stick for ones that are tubular. So any, like a penne pasta would be great too. And then I always recommend trying to find the kind that's higher fiber, because like I was saying about protein, fiber is similar to where it fills you up, so you tend to eat a smaller portion.
Right, and I know another thing that keeps coming up is the gluten-free options. Are those things that we could substitute?
Absolutely. So there's different types of pasta that are gluten-free, like quinoa pasta, brown rice pasta. There's different ones that you can get, and you could just substitute that evenly.
All right, and does that make this a gluten-free dish then?
It would be. It would be because we used yogurt, broth, milk. Those are all gluten-free things. So, and of course the squash.
Great.
Yeah. So we can go ahead and mix our sauce here with the noodles. We just pour it over. And then we can set that aside.
Take that from
Thank you. And we just kind of stir this together here. So we want it, again, to be even. And I love to bake macaroni and cheese because it gets extra like crunchy on top, and that's my favorite part is the topping. So once we have this all mixed together, we can put just a little bit more cheese on top. So we have Parmesan.
Oh, wonderful.
And then we have panko breadcrumbs, which give that kind of crunchy topping.
And that would be the item that we would leave out if we wanted to make it gluten-free.
Exactly. Or you could get gluten-free breadcrumbs. Either way is fine.
Here, I'll take that from you as well.
Perfect.
I'll trade you.
All right. So this is just shredded Parmesan. It's fresh Parmesan. I don't like to use the kind that's in the green container because it's not fresh.
Is that relieving cheese?
Right.
Not like this, right?
Exactly. And then that last ingredient is the breadcrumbs. And we just kind of sprinkle those evenly here. We don't want big kind of piles of them because then they might not get crispy if they're in one big spot. So I think that looks good.
And there's no butter or anything in that. That's just the breadcrumbs, huh?
Yeah. Yep. And one other thing you could do to get them even crispier is just do a coating of cooking spray.
Wonderful.
So I think we can get this in the oven.
Great. Let me get some hot pads.
Perfect. So look how awesome. It got so golden on top. And like you said before, it has squash in there, but it's kind of that same color.
Yeah.
Normal mac and cheese. So the kids might actually eat it.
Wonderful. Let me go get us some plates.
Okay. All right, so let's dish this up.
All right, I'm going to let you put it on the plate.
All right. Doesn't that look yummy? It's so creamy. Every time I make this, I get excited because it's so good.
It does, and actually one of the things that we were able to point out through this is that even though it was in the oven, we try to stay around the kitchen because we don't want to leave our cooking unattended.
That's actually a really good point. You don't want to put something in the oven and then leave, and something bad could happen.
Well, you don't want us to visit you on an unfortunate circumstance.
Exactly.
You know.
So you want to give it a try?
I do. I'll lend you a fork. I'm going to do the same.
I have to get a little of that topping in my bite because that's my favorite part.
Yeah, if you didn't tell me there was butternut squash in here, I'd never be able to guess it.
That's really good.
This is delicious.
Well, thanks for letting me cook in your kitchen again today. It was
Thanks
a lot
for
of fun.
visiting us. We always enjoy you stopping by, giving us some healthy tips, and we look forward to using this in the future.
Sounds great. And for this recipe, you can go ahead and check out these sites, and we'll see you next time when we join you in the kitchen.
With Cooking with Fire.